Have you ever looked into a horse's eyes and felt that they were looking straight through you? Not judging, not pretending, just seeing. In a world where people can hide emotions behind smiles and words, horses stand apart. They can't fake calm when they're afraid. They can't pretend to trust when they feel unsafe. And they can't lie, at least not in the way humans do. But here's the fascinating part. Their inability to lie isn't a limitation. It's their greatest gift. Because a horse's honesty forces us to face our own. This is HorseSense, where we explore the science and soul of the horse. And today, we're diving into one of the most overlooked truths in horsemanship. Can a horse lie? You might think the answer is simple. But when you understand what honesty means in the equine world, you'll never see their behavior the same way again. Before we can answer the question, we need to understand what lying actually is. For humans, lying means intentionally deceiving, saying, or doing something to hide the truth. It requires imagination, planning, and the ability to think abstractly about what another person believes. That kind of deception lives in a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, the center for reasoning, self-awareness, and moral judgment. Horses, they don't have that same cognitive design. Their minds aren't built for manipulation, they're built for immediacy. They live in the moment, responding to what they see, feel, and sense right now. A horse can't plot or pretend. They can only react honestly to what's happening around them. If they're afraid, they show fear. If they're relaxed, they breathe deeply. If they trust you, their eyes soften and their body lets go. So biologically, no, a horse cannot lie. But the real story goes deeper than that. Because horses do learn to survive through patterns of behavior that look, to us, like deception. When a horse refuses to be caught, ducks the bit, or acts stubborn, we sometimes think they're being clever or manipulative. In truth, they're being honest. They're communicating confusion, fear, or anticipation of pain. They aren't lying, they're telling you exactly what their past has taught them. Every gesture, every hesitation, every snort is data. It's information. It's truth without words. Science backs this up beautifully. Horses are what behaviorists call emotionally congruent animals. That means their physical state always matches their internal state. When they're calm, their muscles are loose, their breathing slows, and their heart rate stabilizes. When they're anxious, tension spreads instantly through their entire body. Humans, on the other hand, can mask emotion. We can smile while stressed, speak softly while angry, or hide sadness behind a laugh. Horses don't do that. This emotional transparency is part of their survival system. As prey animals, their safety depends on reading the energy of those around them, instantly, accurately, and without confusion. If one horse senses danger but hides it, the whole herd could be lost. So evolution favored honesty. Their entire communication system, ears, tail, posture, breath, is designed to signal truth to others. It's not just biological. It's moral in its own way, a kind of natural integrity that says, what I feel is what I show. And here's where it gets fascinating. That honesty doesn't stop with other horses. It extends to us. Because horses read human emotion through microexpressions, heart rate, and even scent, they know when our energy doesn't match our words. You can tell a horse you're calm, but if your chest is tight, they'll feel the truth. You can say you're confident, but if your heartbeat is fast, they'll sense your nerves. You can't lie to a horse. Not because they're psychic, but because they're perfectly attuned to biological truth. Now imagine how confusing the human world must seem to them. People saying one thing, meaning another. Smiling through frustration. For a species that thrives on clarity, this is chaos. That's why horses sometimes act out around people who are emotionally inconsistent. A rider says, "It's okay, boy," but tightens the reins and holds their breath. The horse senses threat, not reassurance. Another handler says, "Don't be scared," while moving fast and loud. To the horse, that energy says danger. They don't believe your words, they believe your nervous system. So when a horse refuses to load, won't stand still, or steps away from the saddle, they're not being deceptive. They're being honest about how they feel. It's our job to listen, not to label. When we misread honesty as defiance, we punish communication. And over time, the horse learns that truth isn't safe to express. That's when you see the saddest thing of all, a horse that no longer reacts. Ears still, eyes dull, movements slow. Not calm, but shut down. That's not dishonesty, that's emotional survival. A horse can't fake calm, but they can learn to hide fear when reacting to punishment. They don't lie, they protect themselves. And that distinction changes everything. If horses can't lie, then every time we're around them, we see the truth, ours and theirs. You can't fool a horse into thinking you're confident when you're not. You can't mask fear, anger, or doubt behind words or gear. They mirror you not to expose you, but to survive with you. Their body synchronizes with your breathing. Their tension mirrors your stiffness. Their calm mirrors your presence. This mirroring is so powerful that studies in equine-assisted therapy show human heart rates synchronize with horses within minutes. When we exhale deeply, their heart rate drops. When we tense, theirs rises. That's not mysticism, it's biology. Two nervous systems finding equilibrium through empathy. And that's why horses are among the best emotional teachers on earth. They don't need to lecture, correct, or analyze. They simply show you how your energy affects the world around you. Every interaction becomes a reflection. If your horse resists, it's not rebellion, it's feedback. If they relax, it's not submission, it's trust. If they hesitate, it's not confusion, it's honesty. They show you the truth, even when you don't want to see it. Anyone who's spent time with horses has seen this honesty in action. There's the calm horse who becomes restless when a nervous beginner approaches, not because they dislike the rider, but because they feel their uncertainty. There's the lazy horse who perks up instantly when handled by someone relaxed and confident. And the aggressive one who softens after a moment of genuine understanding, because for the first time, someone listens instead of controlling. One trainer once said, "The horse always tells the truth. It's the human who doesn't want to hear it." When you start seeing behavior through that lens, frustration turns into curiosity. A horse spooks, you ask, "What did they notice that I didn't?" A horse refuses, you wonder, "What discomfort are they showing me?" A horse stands quietly, you think, "What peace have we found together?" The more you honor their honesty, the more honest they become. That's the paradox. The more freedom a horse has to express, the calmer they become. Because truth doesn't create chaos, repression does. There's an old saying among frustrated horse people, "He's just playing me." You'll hear it about a horse that won't load, or one that acts lame when asked to work. But let's look deeper. Manipulation requires planning, a mental leap from cause to strategy to deception. Horses don't think that way. They don't act out of malice or pretense. They act out of memory and emotion. A horse that avoids the trailer isn't scheming, it's remembering fear. A horse that fakes lameness doesn't exist, but a horse associating movement with pain certainly does. What we perceive as manipulation is often communication filtered through misunderstanding. This doesn't mean horses are simple. Far from it. Their intelligence is emotional, not strategic. They learn patterns and adapt rapidly. They remember experiences with astonishing precision, but always anchored to feeling. So while they can't lie, they can be misunderstood. And when humans misread their honesty as deceit, both sides suffer. When we stop projecting human motives onto them, we start seeing the real horse, clear, consistent, unfiltered truth. Here's the beautiful thing about a creature that can't lie. They invite you to become more truthful too. Around horses, pretending doesn't work. You can't act calm, you have to be calm. You can't fake leadership, you have to embody it. You can't demand respect, you have to earn trust. That's why working with horses feels like therapy. They strip away everything false. They don't care what you look like, what you've achieved, or what you say. They care about what you feel. They teach presence, that grounded, open awareness that brings peace to both species. When you match their honesty, you meet them where they live, in the now. That's where true horsemanship begins, not in dominance, but in dialogue. To work with a horse is to enter a relationship built entirely on truth. And truth, once you experience it, changes you. Think of the horse as nature's reminder that authenticity isn't weakness, it's survival. In the herd, honesty maintains harmony. Every flick of an ear, every step backward, every sigh, it's all communication designed to prevent conflict. Their society works because no one hides what they feel. Imagine if humans lived like that, responding with calm clarity instead of masks and manipulation. That's what horses invite us to practice: congruence. When your inner world matches your outer behavior, when you move with integrity, a horse senses that alignment instantly. That's why some people seem to have a gift with horses. It's not magic, it's a consistency. Their emotions, posture, and intention all match. The horse feels safe because there's nothing to decode. You can learn techniques for years, but true connection only happens when you become emotionally honest. That's the language horses understand best. When we ignore a horse's honesty, we pay for it, and so do they. The horse that's labeled naughty for resisting is often the one in pain. The one that won't focus may be overwhelmed or hungry. The one that won't bond might have learned that humans can't be trusted. When we override their truth, we damage more than performance, we damage partnership. But when we honor it, everything transforms. Training becomes conversation, not command. Correction becomes curiosity. Pressure becomes clarity. And the horse, feeling safe to express again, becomes lighter, softer, freer. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. Across the world, there are countless stories of horses revealing truth in extraordinary ways. A therapy horse that refused to approach a client until they took a deep breath and let their guard down. A rescue mare that stood stiff for months. Until one day, her handler entered quietly without expectation, and she exhaled for the first time. A competition horse that misbehaved every time the rider hid their fear behind force, until the day that rider learned to admit it, and everything changed. In every story, the horse wasn't wrong. The horse was honest. These are not fairy tales. They're lessons whispered in every stable, every pasture, every quiet moment of connection. All we have to do is listen. So, can a horse lie? No. And thank goodness for that. Because in a world full of masks, horses remain pure truth. They remind us what real communication feels like: unfiltered, immediate, sincere. When you work with a horse, you're not training an animal to obey, you're learning to meet truth with gentleness. You're learning to align your body, your breath, and your heart so that what you show matches what you feel. That's honesty. And horses live it every second. They don't manipulate, they don't perform, they don't pretend. They are. And when we slow down long enough to match that authenticity, we rediscover something we've lost: our own capacity for real connection. So next time you're with your horse, notice their eyes, their breath, their movement. They're not hiding anything. They're showing you the truth, moment by moment. If you can meet that truth with calmness and kindness, you'll unlock the most beautiful partnership imaginable. One built not on control, but on understanding. At HorseSense, we believe that real horsemanship starts with honesty, theirs and ours. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tap the bell to keep learning and help share the truth about horses, so more people can see them not as tools, but as teachers of presence, empathy, and authenticity. Because horses don't lie. They just tell us the truth, whether we're ready to hear it or not.